I say, who's that knocking? A knock, knocking. A knocking at my cue. Say,
I say, who's that knocking at my door? Well, it's the Q's trying to break it on down. Who's that knocking at my door? Well, it's the Q's trying to break it on down. Who's that knocking at my door? Well, it's the Q's trying to break it on down. Who's that knocking at my door? Well, it's the Q's trying to break it on down. Who's that knocking at my door? Well, it's the Q's trying to break it on down.
Welcome to the show. Brothers, it is with great pleasure that we welcome you to our home, I'm sure, as we celebrate the 108th year of the dear and beloved Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Remember, keep friendship first. We hope that today's celebration together can lead to new relationships that can build towards true friendships going forward. We are stronger together as we fight the good fight, breaking down barriers within our communities. With our time together, reconnect with those you may not have seen or spoken with in a while. Make new connections and share stories. Provide wisdom to the younger brothers in need. Celebrate each other as we celebrate our beloved founders of the greatest fraternity in the world, Omega Psi Phi. Fraternally, brothers of Phi Upsilon. Thank you. Protocol says we observe those officers in the room. First Vice, Roy Gay. Corridor Rep, Brother Dorico Gates. Former Corridor Rep, Ashley Turnbull. Corridor 1 Rep, Amir Sharif. Assistant Corridor Rep, John Pearson, 3rd. Assistant Corridor Rep, Lloyd Johnson. With that, I introduce you to Phi Upsilon Bosses.
Good afternoon, brothers.
Good afternoon.
On a cold and rainy night, one young man barely in their 20s, but with high self-esteem and intellect, came together in the science building at Howard University and gave birth to the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. We are here to celebrate what our most honorable founders pledged their allegiance to on that rainy night 108 years ago today. My name is Brother Travis Glover, and I am the boss of Phi Upsilon chapter of Omega Psi Phi. Brothers of Phi Upsilon chapter welcome you to the New Jersey Shore. We thank you for allowing us to host and serve the brotherhood. Today we want to remind ourselves of why we became men of Omega and rededicate our commitment to the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I want to acknowledge the committee chair, Brother Frank Ducky, and the committee. Brothers, always remember a brother. Have a blessed and safe celebration.
At this point, we will turn to our presentations of the cardinal presenters. Presenting Magnum, Brother John Pearson III.
Brothers, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am John Piercy, 1 Nunu Spring 2007, Gamma Nunu Chapter Director of Public Relations. I'm speaking to you on the first cardinal principle, which is manhood. What is manhood? It is described as the age of maturity in which I can do all things. Oftentimes, in the fraternity, younger brothers are told to stand on it first when confronting a situation. But what does that really mean? Manhood means meeting trouble squarely face to face and handling problems with methodical precision. It has been said that one of the worst statements that has ever been uttered has been, "We've always done it this way." Manhood requires that one must not look at things and wonder why, but dream new ideas and say, why not? If you do what you've always done, you get what you always got. Men can take a chance, especially when there's a positive goal in mind, regardless of what others may say. They offer negative feedback because of that thing called fear, false evidence appearing real. Manhood further requires that one be able to disagree with another brother and leave the conversation where it is once the discussion is ended. A grown boy will waste valuable time harboring negative feelings, spreading rumors, and attempting to recruit others for the cause. One that has reached true manhood is able to forget much, forbear much, and if need be, forgive much. In 1893, 18 years before the Omega Psi Phi fraternity was founded, Anna Robinson Brown wrote about what is worthwhile. In defining manhood, she listed 6 things that constituted what friendship is worth. Manhood requires that we exhibit all 6 principles in our dealing with our brothers and any other person whom we have identified as a friend. In Omega, brothers often recite the acronym TAP-double-L, but are we merely reciting the principles or are we living them? Those brothers that have had the opportunity to read this writing, What is Worthwhile, also know that strength is that 6th principle. True manhood requires that one remain strong not only for themselves and those they hold dear, but they must also stay strong for their brothers as well. Proverbs 27:17 speaks of iron sharpening iron, which is what we must continually strive to do. Ecclesiastes 4:9 and 10 informs us that 2 are better than 1. And brothers, you know the rest. As men of like attainment, we must be ever mindful to put petty differences aside, can have spirited debate. I'll say that one more time. We can have spirited debate. Either agree, compromise, or agree to disagree and move on. The builder didn't lift his old gray head to be told that he shouldn't have built the bridge in the first place. How will future fair-haired youth cross in the twilight dim? As Omega men, we must continue to set the trend. We have a brotherhood that is far superior to the other 4 fraternal organizations. Sometimes we have strayed away from the traditions set forth by our illustrious founders, Brother Dr. Ernest Everett Just, Brother Bishop Edgar Amos Love, Brother Dr. Oscar James Cooper, Brother Professor Frank Coleman. In this, our 108th year of existence, manhood dictates that we return to the basics. In the words of Bishop Love in his Omega address, manhood means character, one who dares to do all that doesn't become a man, and who does more is none. Manhood became the first cardinal principle because our founders believed that character was the most essential as they looked for prospects to expand Omega. As men, Omega men, I will ask this question. If our founders were to walk into this very room right now, would they be proud of what we have accomplished in the past 45 years since the passing of our last founder, Bishop Love? Or would they be disappointed to the point of voiding our memberships? Manhood Personified said that we should strive daily to honor our founders through all of our actions, so that we may ensure that this thing of ours that we call Omega continues. Long live the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Happy Founders Day, my brothers.
Forgive me for not communicating the theme of this Founders Day event. Simply that is, like minds, join together for the uplift of our community. It's a really important theme for us. So with that said, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Scholarship, Brother Rashawn Adams.
Good evening, brothers. Happy 108th Founders Day. My name is Dr. Rashawn Adams, Life Member 7901. I am currently active with New England chapter in Jersey City, made at 195 Ivy Gamma chapter, Trade City College. I greet you on this celebratory occasion, but yet an occasion to rejuvenate our personal commitment to the Omega Psi Phi fraternity and all her causes. I am humbled to have the opportunity to speak, and I want to thank the brothers of Phi Upsilon for reaching out to me to do so. So thank you. As we come here today, to every brother physically present, we can all reflect on one or more of our sturdy trees that is no longer with us, that has fell in this past year. So I want to give a moment of thanks to them for their service to Omega and their respective chapters, so we can have a moment of silence. Thank you. As I pondered what I was going to say, given that I'm not a great orator, I am neither a preacher, nor a salesman, nor am I a fraternity scholar, nor am I a 50-year bro. I am ever a student of life. In Psalms 90, 12 through 14, the King James Version, it says, "So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Return, O Lord, how long? And let it repent thee concerning thy servant. Oh, satisfy us early with thy mercy, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days." As it is said in these verses, that I have a short amount of time on this earth and to live a life of consecrated service. So to me, that means I must, should, and shall open my mind to new experiences, information, and practices that will benefit to me, to my son, to my profession, to my faith, and to continue to desire me to be a better student of life. Scholarship, like all of our cardinal principles, are conceptually complex when they attempt to simply into the confinements of our limited thinking. The founders were our Google, our Dewey Decimal System, our microfiche room, our card catalog, on the creation of what and how Black men should and could be a sustainable force for well over a century. I think we are lucky to continue to ponder and to think on what that wisdom was. When most speakers give a presentation, it is advisable to use the eloquence of words or poets or theorists or notable researchers, just about anyone that might have a gift to encapsulate your thinking in a phrase or two. I elected to use a quote and a reflective statement from our founder, Dr. Love, to help with my commentary. My picking of this quote was intended to keep us all on an even horizon plane, giving no brother a superior intellect advantage over another in this room. A granular goal of Omega is to remove station, class, wealth, and self-conceit, an ideal that we, men of Omega, struggle to accomplish, being an organism that continuously evolves and adapts to the many rapidly changing, impactful variables around us. Anonymously is quoted as saying, "True humility is staying teachable regardless of how much you already know." I believe that the cardinal principle of scholarship infers that we, Omega men, should practice the ability to listen and learn with a willing ear for growth purpose, and not to gather information for a response. To me, it is a scholarly brother, not bound by years nor age, and is a signature of maturity and growth. Scholarship to me infers the knowledge is not regulated by protocol and deference for just humbling yourself to a senior brother, nor being obstinate younger brother to battle without a cause or an army. We Omega men practice the cardinal principle of scholarship and our willingness to hear a word that might lift our spirit during a troubling moment, to learn from a friend that seeks only our success, to, excuse me, to be strong supporters when we are tired and weak. The founders of Omega Psi Phi fraternity almost 108 years ago this month recognized the importance of the intelligence in all matters pertaining to the advantages of humankind, and more specifically the black man and the black community at its genesis in 1911. As such, our founders are documented as strategically making scholarship the foremost of our fraternity's four cardinal principles: manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. Late great most honorable brother Dr. Dr. Edward A. Love is quoted as saying, "Secondly is scholarship, which follows closely the first. There is, of course, a place for all men in the economy of our college and country, but we men whose intellectual ability is above average." As I think of the statement from Dr. Love, I searched for something that I felt was the essence of his point. He wanted Omega men to be thinkers of her ideals. So I wanted to conclude with expanding our conversation about the use and application of our cardinal principle, scholarship, with juxtaposing the difference between knowledge and wisdom. We as Omega men are equally yoked as a group of college-educated men. Our professions might be white collar or blue collar. Our trades and skill might vary, but we are all men by default setting. The same. I would say it is how we apply our knowledge and our wisdom that binds us closer or creates divides that are self-imposed into situations that create station, class, and wealth to fit our individual ideals of Omega, which I stated earlier are not congruent with her ideals. Scholarship, as seen through the lens of knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge of Omega is composed of facts, information, and work, versus wisdom of Omega is composed of knowledge, experience, and exercising good judgment. Knowledge of Omega gives the ability to identify whether some facts are true or false, versus wisdom of Omega gives you the ability to discern whether some ideas and practices are right or wrong. Knowledge of Omega is the pursuit of the acquisition of information and facts, versus wisdom of Omega is the application of that acquired knowledge. And finally, knowledge of Omega can be simply acquired through education, versus wisdom of Omega cannot be simply acquired through learning, but by living, failing, recovering, healing, and helping others to apply those valuable life lessons learned on that journey. So in summation, I ask that you be a lifelong learner of Omega, that you continue to uphold the ideals of tradition, pledge allegiance to her cause, and strive every day to be a better friend than you were the day prior. These are my humble submitted words about the cardinal principle of scholarship on this 108th Founders Day of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. Thank you. God bless. God bless Omega Psi Phi.
I humbly submit, Brother Peter Harvey could not make it today to present his perseverance portion for us. For those of you who know Brother Peter Harvey, he served as the Attorney General, the first black Attorney General for the state of New Jersey. And he was made a Pi chapter in 1976. His words: Men of Omega, brothers, our third cardinal principle is perseverance. The traditional meaning is continued effort to achieve something despite substantial difficulties. That concept takes on a new meaning for us as African American men committed to the principles of Omega Psi Phi. They are life principles that guide us to living high-quality lives, lives not measured by material comfort or naked consumerism, rather, lives defined by making substantive contributions to improving our communities wherever we find ourselves. Omegas, by definition, are men of intellect and high achievement who are courageous self-starters. Men who see opportunities for progress and step into the idleness of inaction with specific improvement strategies. The concept of perseverance does not depend upon a single spectacular achievement. It is not the home run or Hail Mary, for that is not how real progress occurs. It is the day-to-day effort, the early morning, and the late-night toil that achieves success and institutionalizes real change. One of our founders, Dr. Oscar J. Cooper, offered these words about perseverance on November 6, 1962. Letter responding to a brother who wrote to him asking whether the founders purposely chose the 4 cardinal principles and placed them intentionally in the order. Brother Cooper wrote in part, "Let me say that the words were not drawn out of a hat or selected by some haphazard method. To finally decide on the 4 cardinal principles required much thought and time to find the words to characterize and encompass just what we had in mind. This done, we continually sought to find any words to supplant the 4 words with no success. Therefore, we decided upon the 4 words, but not just 4 words, for they were selected in chronological order and in the order of their importance. And the sequence followed in that order. Regarding the 3rd principle, perseverance, Founder Cooper wrote, "It is necessary to develop a certain amount of forthrightness, ambition, and stick-to-itiveness, for the perfection of any accomplishment requires perseverance. And this should follow as an outgrowth of the first 2 cardinal principles when they are truly found to exist. Most importantly, Omegas are not about yesterday, or endeavors lie firmly in tomorrow, the future. Excuse me. Lost my place. The starting point is being a good man, a good father, a good boyfriend. Those obligations require constant thought and consistent daily effort. Next, we must undertake big tasks in our community. As high achievers, that is our obligation. There are at least 2 major challenges in our community today that I submit will improve lives for generations. They are high graduation from college, protecting women from violence. We can initiate after-school programs to help improve their school performance, our youth school performance. We know that high school dropouts are at a high risk to be unemployed, or arrested, or to be imprisoned. In fact, many states project their prison population based largely upon states' high school dropout. We must undertake a program to help young people stay in high school and graduate. It is not enough for us, men of high aspirations, to simply have a week of programs and a scholarship award, or give scholarships to deserving high school students. Perhaps an every Saturday enrichment program is warranted. A program that will give young men and women a chance to think differently, study new ideas, and have new experiences. Regarding protecting women, we can collaborate with domestic violence advocacy groups in our community to both raise money for their violence prevention programs and shelters that give women and children safety when they reorganize their lives to have futures without violence. Coupled with our own forum for education on violence against women, our annual work could help men make better decisions and keep them out of the criminal justice system. Such an effort will bring much needed protection to women who are now being hurt. We have much to do. It will require sustained effort. It is, however, who we are as Omega. Listen to that. Brother Howard. Next up, Brother Roy Johnson, Assistant Choir Director, on up.
Good afternoon, brothers. Good afternoon. Happy Founders Day. Okay. My name is Roy Johnson. I currently serve through the Delta Upsilon chapter at Trenton, New Jersey, but I was initiated in the fall of 2012 for TEL, Iota Gamma chapter at the College of New Jersey. So again, happy Founders Day, brothers. I'm speaking on the cardinal principle of Upland. So, our cardinal principles hold a special place in the heart of Omega men. They serve as a reminder, a beacon, and a standard of actions and attainments. Uplift, as defined for the brothers of Omega, calls us to share one's gift with the community in the form of verifiable aid, activism, and leadership. Since my initiation in Omega, I've always felt a special connection to our fourth cardinal principle. As the foretell of my line, uplift and I just fit together. You know? And on those nights that seemed to go on forever, it was always the reprieve of the uplift corner that grounded and focused me on why I was on the journey to Omega. So uplift was always something special to me at Omega. It was in those moments that I could hear the wisdom of the night, they could connect with the brothers there to guide me on my journey to Omega. But as a member of Omega, our commitment to uplifting our community is undeniable. I find myself regularly serving our community at soup kitchens, donating money for water. Even last week during our Read Across the District reading at an elementary school, the brothers love uplift. But I hope to shine a light on what I found to be a bit of a blind spot for the brothers of Omega. The uplift we commit to the undergraduate brothers in our fraternity needs a lot more focus. If our cardinal principles remind us of our duties, light the way as a beacon, and serve as a standard for our actions, how can we better engage our fourth cardinal principle of uplift in regards to our undergraduate brothers? I currently serve as one of the undergraduate advisors for the undergraduates in New Jersey. I always impress upon our undergraduates that they carry on a strong legacy of strong leadership of undergraduates in our fraternity, which was founded by 3 undergraduates with their faculty advisor. I'm here, though, to challenge the graduate brothers in our fraternity who make up the majority of the audience tonight, or today. I'm here to challenge the brothers to do more uplift for our undergraduates, to seek out opportunities to assist them and to uplift them along this journey. I know the retorts. You know, you can't tell the undergraduates anything. They are rebellious. They don't even ask for help. My response to the brothers would be that we must take our responsibilities of uplift just not more seriously, but also to remember what kind of undergraduate brothers they were when they were in their late teens and early 20s. How great did you listen to the brothers who were ahead of you? And even if you were the most mature bruh in the room, you remember your line brothers, you remember your stands, and you remember your chapter brothers. We call the help that you would have appreciated and be a bridge builder to the young men who are traveling behind you. Prepare a bridge to them to help avoid the chasms of life that lie before them. That's part of the challenge that I'm here for today. When is the last time you reached out to help and serve and uplift the undergraduates of our fraternity? Directly. Not just the undergraduates from your school, but undergraduates of your chapter of initiation. How many times have you pushed to uplift the undergraduates in our community of Omega? How much have you persevered to uplift them until you found a place to serve? Brothers, our uplift and commitment to lift as we climb must also be turned inward to our fraternal community, with as much vigor as we push to uplift the community around us. I hope the brothers hear this challenge and get happy Founders Day. All right.
Phi Upsilon had the honor 2 weeks ago to host the fall council. So, Brother Kent, thank you for giving us the honor. I hope we executed it at the level that you wanted us. Then we were handed the second honor. A lot of work. Brother Gale said, Florida Founders Day. Would you like to do that? We said, we will take that challenge. Brother Gale, I hope we pulled it off the way we wanted. With that said, when we thought about our speaker for Founders Day, there wasn't one other person thrown out than Brother Gale. For the work he has done for this corridor, I personally wanted to hear from him what the future of the corridor needed to be. So with that, I'm going to present to you our corridor rep, Brother Gale.
And the next.
So happy Founders Day, brothers. I'm going to do something a little different this year. A little different. This is interesting because, brothers, I'm married. I've been married for 25 years. But it's a woman that I was introduced to when I was in college that I think about a lot. So, brothers, do not judge me when you hear what I have to say. So, she's my college sweetheart, right? My wife knows her, right? I'm not saying that my wife. I'm not gonna say she don't care for her, but she knows who she is, and she knows how I feel about her, right? So, brothers, I want to speak to you this afternoon on the topic of do you love her like you used to, right? So, I'm gonna keep it down so I don't laugh. So, brother, it's a pleasure to be with you today. I just want to take a few moments to talk to you about my college sweetheart, right? Have you ever seen a woman and you were just in awe by her presence?
Yes, sir.
Think about that, right? So, well, I want to talk to you about this woman I met in college. Some of you may have met her at one time or another. Her name was Upsilon. And I want to repeat that. This woman that I fell in love with, her name was Upsilon. When I first noticed her 33 years ago, I was mesmerized by the way she walked across the campus. She had this very distinguished aura about herself. You couldn't miss her because she always wore purple and gold. There's a reflection of her beauty and her grace. She wore the purple and gold to let you know she came from a lineage of royalty. So for 1 year, I watched her from afar, but yet close enough that she noticed me. One day I finally got the nerve up to introduce myself to her in the student union building. I was so nervous that I couldn't even articulate my thoughts. But to my surprise, she noticed that I was nervous and she told me to relax, asked me where I was from, what was my major. And we talked briefly and then she had to go to class. But before she left, she said it was nice talking to you and I look forward to seeing you around. So I went to the student union building every week, hoping to have the opportunity to see her so we could talk. This went on for months. And one day I approached her while she was with a friend And she said, "You're coming around here a lot, faithfully to told me, is there something that you want?" So suddenly my reply was, "I'm interested in getting to know you better." She smiled and she said, "That would be nice." Then I had that elementary school moment when you ask a girl, what you looking for in a boyfriend? And, she asked, so I asked her what qualities was she looking for in a man. She had 4 requirements. Her first requirement was manhood. She said a brother had to have confidence in himself and be responsible. Her second requirement was she likes a brother who's well-read and has a yearning for scholarship. Her third requirement was she didn't want this fly-by-night brother. She was looking for a brother that would plant his feet, take a brace when life gets tough, and persevere to the end. That ride or die. Her fourth requirement, she wanted a brother who would deny himself to uplift someone and make an impact in his community. Now, in my mind, I was saying, if that's all, shoot, I got this. So we started dating, and everything was going well. I was with her every day, before class, after class, weekends. She had a love for poetry, so she shared with me her favorite poem, and we started saying them in unison. Her favorite poem, let me back up a second. She had a love for poetry, so she shared her favorite poems with me, and we started saying them in unison. Her favorite poem was "If," and her favorite line was, "If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, and if you can meet them with triumph and disaster and treat those two the same." She also loved to dance, so she taught me these unique dance moves that look like African dances combined with military cadence. Then things started to change. I became filled with mixed emotions for months. So some days I was filled with crazy enthusiasm. Some days I was frustrated, and some days I was tired. Sometimes I asked myself if she was worth all this work because she always seemed distant for some reason. But I was open and too deep, so I continued to show her that I was worthy of her love and admiration. She called me one day and she said she had a surprise for me. She picked me up and told me to keep my eyes closed until she instructed me to open them. When she asked me to open my eyes, to my surprise, she asked me if I would make a lifetime commitment to her. And I said yes. That was one of the happiest days of my life. We started a beautiful life together. I was filled with joy and excitement, and she opened up and started sharing with me some of her innermost secrets. You could not separate us. The passion was so hot one time when she touched me, I felt my flesh burning. She left a mark on me to let everyone know who I belonged to. We traveled everywhere. She came from a big family, so everywhere we went, we met someone in her family. So I wanted to have my own family and build a legacy. So I expressed to her my desire to grow our family, and without any hesitation, she agreed. She gave birth to my son sometimes once, twice a year. She accommodated all my requests. She did everything I asked of her. The family was growing, our responsibilities increased, and I realized that life was no crystal stair. But for some reason, I became disconnected to someone who was a part of my daily life. Something else caught my eye, like Jack and Jill, 100 Black, and various other organizations. I stopped supporting her financially because I wasn't attracted to her anymore. It seemed like she changed. But in my absence, my son started behaving in ways that were not consistent with our family belief and values. My sons became disrespectful to women, combative. They developed this character of toxic masculinity where they are confusing humility for weakness. Some of them even dropped out of school. So then I remember the feeling I saying to me, if a man's presence doesn't have an impact, then his absence will not make a difference. So brothers, if you ever met a Philemon, rededicate yourself to her. She has been neglected, embarrassed, sometimes abused. She has always loved us. She never gave up on us. She helped me realize what is essential to life, and now I understand the definition of love from her, what she was trying to say, which was unconditional friendship. So if you love her, don't tell her, show her. Your actions speak louder than words. While you show her, lift up your voice and sing to her, "Dear Omega girl, I love you." with a love that is divine. Swear by all the stars above you that my love will be but thine. When the moon appears, those pleasant memories, then I have you near, but not for really. Dear Omega girl, I love you, sweetheart, Omega dear. So brothers record, for don't take it lightly that your chapters may have reignited the love of a brother to come back to Omega, because I think of my own personal story when I was reclaimed in 2003. If it wasn't for Dr. Adams, his brother Dwayne Adams, Tyrone Rose, and Sean Wilson, I'm not even sure if I would be financially, because I was so disconnected at that time from Omega. And I don't want you to get discouraged when somebody said no, because I told these brothers no. And they invited me again, I told them no, but they kept being persistent. So when you're trying to reclaim brothers, and they say no, just continue to extend that right hand of friendship and keep pressing on, and eventually these brothers will come around, because if you notice, the 2nd District has the highest rate of reclaimed brothers, and it's because these brothers refuse to take no. So brothers, in closing, I want to encourage you to hold on to the tenets that your chapters stand for as you continue to grow, but be slow. I'm not going to repeat this, brothers. But be slow to give people keys to the house in which we dwell. Everyone doesn't deserve a key, and if you decide to give a key, please make sure that the house is tidy and in order, so we can tell when someone is trying to bring trash in our house. Omega is the family we chose and the community we created, so let's take care of it. Brothers, thank you for your time, and happy Father's Day.
There we go.
Zoom, 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 zoom.
From the beach, a Q